all of you are relaxed and in a good mood, in a happy mood. Now please take your evaluation form. There's something called as the ballot, and please vote for the best director of today. We had 3 directors, the first one being Toastmaster Balaji Ramaswamy, who delivered a speech, Just Do It. We had the second director, Toastmaster Raj Lakshmi, who delivered the script known as 10 Years a King. And we had the third director who delivered the script known as The Intruder. Please vote for the best speaker for today. And moving on, I said Medley, this special event is of a different kind. We staged 3 directors, we had a special juicy event, and we will also be calling the critics. But before that, for all those audience who are sitting here and aspiring directors who have your scripts, shouldn't you know how to go and amaze that producer with your storytelling skills? We have amongst us a Toastmaster who will be giving an educational session on the art of speaking. She is an NLP trainer by passion and a software professional. Ladies and gentlemen, please put together your hands to Toastmaster Manasa Maharashtra.
So they said I have to give an education session. And I saw that the theme is movie. So I was shocked. In what way is movie related to education? Because I've always been seeing these two criticizing each other. Either your educational people, they say that don't watch movies, they spoil your mind. Or we have some movies saying, you know, the education systems need to be reformed. So actually it's very special that we have both in one session today, so close to that. The art of speaking. The reason I chose this topic honestly is because Achintya wanted something to fill in the agenda, and this is the only topic that came to my mind. But still, on a serious note, why am I calling speaking an art and not science? Anybody? Sorry?
Because you are an art student.
Yeah. Actually, I hate science, so I call it art. That's the actual reason. Apart from that,
There are fixed rules.
fixed rules, yes. Why is it art and why is it not science?
We don't cherish science as much as we do with art.
I'm sorry?
We don't cherish science as we do with art.
Cherish. So that's one of the key words. So let me give you an example. What is there inside this?
Water, H2O.
H2O, scientific. Hydrogen oxide, right? I googled just 10 minutes ago. So, I'm giving this to you, sir. Your good name? Yeah, what is there inside?
Water.
Yeah. So you can hand it over to someone. Your good name, sir? What is there inside? This is science. No matter whom you hand this bottle of water to, what is there inside is water. Hydrogen oxide cannot be something else, right? So science is more factual, science is more objective. I'm sorry, it is objective and it deals with facts. No matter whether it is Kalyan or Achintya or me, the fact doesn't change, it is the same. But when it comes to speaking, why am I calling it an art? Because it is more about your perception. It is more about your imagination and your creativity. Let us take the same water as an example. If you take martial art, water is taken as strength, a symbol of strength, because it is not like rock. It doesn't just collide with the enemy. It moves around the enemy. So it is taken as strength. There's a beautiful poem called The Brook. Men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. Water there is compared to life. So this is perception. These are perfect examples of art. So speaking is no different from what we are doing in painting or music. The basics are always the same. You use your words, you use your language, but how are you using them is all up to you. So that is all about art and science. Hence I call it the art of speaking. Now, how many of you think you can survive without speaking? Nobody.
All the others.
One gentleman raised their hand. Why? Speaking is something that evolved later, right? Even before that, human civilization existed. So it is not that you can't survive without speaking, but in spite of that, speaking is still the most powerful method of communication. The reason is it has two aspects. One is words, the other one is emotions. These come together to make a good speech. Now, as a director, I'm giving you a privilege. You'll have to choose one actor and actress from here, the best.
I think the one person who's left out, actress, we just have a couple. I'll choose Ashantia. And maybe for the director, I'll choose Toastmaster. Ram.
Let us do a simple experiment. So let's say there's a situation. So he has to bring something and he forgets. Let's say a laptop. Okay? Now, you should have no emotions, no expression, no gestures. They're just words. Okay? And you have to talk to them. You have to express that you are very unhappy. No expression at all. How will you do that?
I'm supposed to bring a laptop. I had a session today.
More expression.
Ram, I'm supposed to bring a laptop, and I had an education session today. Without this, I will not be able to do a session. What do you think is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Answer. Yeah.
Okay. Now let us swap roles. Now she has forgotten the laptop. Now you should not use words at all, only emotions. She has missed a laptop and is doing an education session, only emotions. No words. How will you show it? Now comes the icing on the cake. Who wants this opportunity? Now you have to use both words and emotions.
Ram, what do you think of yourself? I had a bloody education session today, and you have missed on the laptop. Do you have any idea how can I even do it? I'm not Manasa to pull out, without, flaws. Right? I need a goddamn number. I need to look at things. That's why I'm going to present things to you, to the crowd out there. Will you even answer me?
Told that earlier.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
You should have told that earlier. You can't say that.
Don't you know
bring
an
it up
education session requires a laptop, needs a presenter out there, needs the damn, what do you call it? Yeah, a charger. Yeah.
Thank you. Which one was more impressive? The combined one. So, when you're just using words and no emotions, what kind of an impact are you making? Nothing. Did you see his face? He's just like, you speak, I'll just be like this. When you're using just emotions, Achintya was like, what are you trying to say? What is it? You want to cough? You want to vomit? That's how it will be. So people will misinterpret and they'll confuse. Right? Whereas, when you use both words and emotions, it is all clear. Your expression is very clear. Right? So words are known for clarity. What exactly do you want to express? You need words for that. When it comes to emotions, how are you expressing it? The moment emotions go hand in hand with your words, you make an impressive speech already. You don't have to take additional efforts for that. So I am still a learner, to be honest. I'm not very, experienced to take an education session when we have veteran Toastmasters here. But there are a few things which I learned from Toastmasters in these past 2 years, which I would just like to share with you, which may apply to you as well. So number one, don't give your speech, live your speech. Now this is getting highly philosophical, I know. The concept behind this is very simple. When I was taking an education session in Fidelity, a person came and asked me, Whenever I get on stage, I don't remember my script. I keep forgetting it. What should I do to remember the script and to present it well? So I asked him a question. Do you know the date of birth of Mother Teresa? He took whole 5 seconds and then he said, no. Okay, do you know the date of birth of your mother? He took 2 seconds and he said, yes, I do. Then I asked, do you know the date of birth of your wife? He didn't even take a second. He said, yes, I do. Do I have an option? She'll kill me if I don't. I said, that's it. I've answered your question. I just left it there. He was initially confused, but then he understood. What did you make out of this?
Speak what you know.
Yes, sir?
You have to live with it and it has to be part of yourself.
Exactly. How many of you agree to that? When does a need to memorize come? When it's something completely alien to you, when you're not even relating it to yourself, right? If you're going to speak about some French Revolution or something, obviously you will memorize. Because you were not there, you cannot relate to it, right? Whereas when you're speaking about your mother, when you're speaking about some experience, story, or fact that touched you deeply, that is when the need to memorize fades away slowly. You just be a natural on stage because you're just expressing who you are. So choose a topic or a content that is close to your heart. When you do that, your emotions are automatically high because that is something you strongly believe in. Be it whatever emotion, there's a strong belief behind it, right? So automatically your emotions are high. The moment your emotions are high, what do you think would be the outcome? An incredible speech, right? That's one major lesson which I learned from Toastmasters. Number 2, draw your inspiration, but don't imitate. There's a very thin line of difference between inspiration and imitation. So now that we have movie as a theme, let us take Rajnikant and Kamal Haasan as an example. Guru enters when I say Rajnikant. So in one of the, I think a ceremony where Kamal Haasan was being honored for something, Rajni spoke about him. So he said that if I had competed with Kamal on acting, I wouldn't have made it this far. Because Kamal is a good actor, a natural actor, which I am not. But instead, Rajni leveraged on something which he is really good at. What is it? Style. Right? So, if a parrot tries to become a peacock, it is always going to be disappointed. So, draw your inspiration. Let it draw the inspiration from peacock, saying, okay, one day I'll have to become famous like a peacock. But what is the parrot strong at? Whistling, speaking, it can do all those tricks, right? Instead of the parrot starts doing that, both the peacock and the parrot thrives, right? They are successful in their own ways. There's no comparison at all. So this is highly important when it comes to public speaking. Draw your inspiration from world champions. Okay, Mohammad Katani is a good storyteller. Manoj Vasudevan has a great deal of energy. Take that as an inspiration. But in that process, you should not become Mohammad Katani or Manoj Vasudevan. Instead, you should analyze who you are. What is your strength? The moment you analyze that and you use that along with these techniques, a new art is literally born, right? You have your own style. You don't even have to fear contests. You just keep going ahead, right? So that is one thing which, again, I learned from Toastmasters. And number 3, it is not about difficult words. It is about the right words. So I can't help mentioning my granduncle in every speech I give. So that guy was a dictionary. Okay, I think he drank dictionary every morning. So literally every word in the dictionary comes out even to ask for a glass of water. So one day we were all hungry and we were sitting for breakfast. He was very impatient. So immediately he had to vent out his anger. So he immediately went like, I always ensure that I meticulously touch my fork and spoon at 9 a.m. sharp to sustain metabolism, which contributes extensively to my longevity. Complete silence. I didn't understand anything. So I just pulled my dad's shirt and asked, what does he say? He said, no, nothing beta, he's hungry. Hungry? Where did the word hungry come in these 5 minutes of speech? Nowhere. So, when you can simplify and say something that can create more impact, why do you have to complicate it? It is always about using the right words. Learn the difficult words, but use the right words. If you're talking in a corporate conference where people are big shots, use the words accordingly. If you're talking to farmers, illiterates, use the words accordingly. Speak in broken English, what is wrong in that? As long as people understand, it is always fine. So it is not always about complicated sentences or words. It is always about the right sentences, the right message, and the right words. This is the third lesson I learned from Toastmasters. There's one more lesson. This might seem very stupid, but I have to include this. Before giving a speech, if you happen to use a mic, please check the mic volume. So why am I telling this? I went to a division conference recently. The volume was too high. Okay? So we speakers naturally get very emotional on stage. And we can't help it. So a guy got on stage and he was in full swing, full burst of energy, and nothing can stop him. He went like, I huffed and I puffed, and for the next 5 seconds we didn't hear anything. Only wing is all we could hear. That poor guy was actually trying to make an impression there, but look what happened. We just wanted to close our ears. This is a very small thing, right? Volume of the mic. Nobody would have actually considered that. But just see the kind of impact it is creating on the speech. So it is very important. Notice all these technical aspects. Just don't ignore them. There are such small aspects which contribute to the perfection of a speech deliverance. Next, body language versus mono acting. This is something in these 2 years I observed in myself and also in other speakers. We always confuse body language with sign language or mono acting. Let me give you a small example. Let us say in a script there's a line that says, yesterday I went to the market and I saw an old man carrying 2 heavy bags of rice. This is the sentence. So a casual way of delivering it is, yesterday I went to the market and I saw an old man struggling to carry 2 heavy bags of rice. This is one way of deliverance. The other way of deliverance is, yesterday I went to the market and I saw an old man struggling to carry 2 bags of rice. This is one way of delivering it. The second way of delivering is not bad. You're enacting it. But the problem is, in public speaking, your body language or whatever you're enacting should support your speech and should not distract the audience from the speech. Whereas, if I continue enacting every word I speak, your focus will only be on where is my hand going to go next. Your focus will not be on the speech. So when you prepare the script, you'll have to sit with your mentor and analyze where is body language required and where should I actually be a speaker. I have my stand and I give the message in a strong, positive way. So this is something you have to work with your mentor. Because it's a very common mistake we all make. Again, it is a very thin line of difference. Mono acting is very useful when it comes to storytelling. You're narrating a story. Thomas Sir did that right away, right? We literally lived the entire journey. So that is excellent. That is completely fine. But that can be a part of speaking. That cannot be the entire speech. At one point of time, the speaker in you has to come out. And you have to deliver it. The one who you truly are will have to come out. That is one more thing. Last but not least, you never know till you try. So, honestly speaking, till now for any education session, I never prepared a PowerPoint presentation. And I did it for this session. So we have a director, we have actors, we have critics, but no projector. Still, I actually thought for a minute, can I handle this without a PowerPoint presentation? Because I have all the pointers and I have a superb memory that I forget your name the next minute. So I didn't know how I was going to handle this. but I never know till I try, right? Same thing happened to me. My uncle always used to pressurize me to participate in oratorical contests. He pressurized me to participate in a humorous speech contest once. I never believed myself to be a humorous speaker at all. My jokes will be lame. Either people won't understand or they'll truly be lame. So you might ask me, why is it always grand uncle or uncle? What were your father and grandfather doing? That's a different story. So he used to push me and used to practice day and night. I used to tell some lame joke like, you know, I went cycling with my friend and suddenly the cycle skidded and I fell into the ditch. And I just stopped there. They look at me and ask, and? That is the joke. He'll say, he'll just tear the script and give it to my hand. So this went on and on. I got so frustrated. I even started handing out 10 rupee notes saying, please clap for me and laugh for my jokes. He found that out as well. So I had no option. I had to get on stage and give a speech. I gave it. Successfully, nobody laughed. I just had my head bowed down and I just left. Only my uncle was smiling. I was terribly angry. What the hell are you smiling about? I was humiliated on stage right there. He said, good try, keep it up. And I said, what good try? I was humiliated there. People were not even laughing for my jokes. He said, good, but now that you tried, you know for sure that you're not a humorous speaker. I said, what big deal? I've been telling that for 2 weeks. You didn't believe me. He said, you have been telling that for 2 weeks. Did you try? Now that you have tried, I'm not going to stop you. Move to motivational speaking. Don't be a humorous speaker. So, without trying, don't come to a conclusion that you cannot do something. After all, you have just one life to live. Just give it a try. Yes, you might be the lousiest speaker, lousiest cook, lousiest husband, lousiest wife,